Have you ever noticed how people often say they want to restart their life instead of simply change it? That word, restart, carries so much weight. It's not just about tweaking a few things here and there. It's about wiping the slate clean, starting fresh, and leaving behind what no longer serves you. But here's the catch. Many people associate restarting with failure, as if it means admitting they've wasted time. In reality, it's the opposite. Restarting is an act of courage, a declaration that you're ready to take control of your life again. Think of it like rebooting a computer. It doesn't mean the system is broken. It just needs a fresh start to function better. But let's be honest, just the thought of restarting can feel overwhelming, right? It's easy to imagine the effort it'll take, the uncertainty of whether things will work out, and the fear of losing what little stability you have. That's why so many people hesitate. They think restarting means going back to zero, as if all their past experiences and skills suddenly vanish. But here's the truth. You're never truly starting from scratch. Every lesson you've learned, every challenge you've overcome, they all come with you, like tools in a backpack you carry into your next chapter. The problem is, most people don't see it that way. They're too focused on what they might lose instead of what they stand to gain, and that's where the real magic lies. Shifting your perspective, restarting your life isn't about erasing your past, it's about building on it. Imagine an artist painting over a canvas. Not to destroy the old work, but to create something even more beautiful. That's what restarting is, an opportunity to reimagine your life with the wisdom you've already gained. But why does it feel so hard to take that first step? Well, that's where fear and resistance come into play, and they're far more powerful than most people realize. Let's dive into that next. Why does change feel so terrifying? It's not just the effort it takes, it's the fear of the unknown that paralyzes most people. When you think about restarting your life, your brain immediately starts calculating risks. What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm still unhappy after all this effort? These thoughts aren't random. They're your brain's way of protecting you from perceived danger. But here's the thing. Your brain often exaggerates the threat. It's like standing at the edge of a pool, convinced the water is freezing, only to jump in and realize it's actually refreshing. The fear is almost always worse than the reality. This resistance to change isn't just mental, it's biological. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for detecting threats, goes into overdrive when faced with uncertainty. It's why even the smallest changes can feel like monumental risks. Add to that the mental processes of overthinking and rumination, and it's no wonder so many people stay stuck. They replay worst-case scenarios in their minds, convincing themselves that staying in their current situation, no matter how unfulfilling, is safer than stepping into the unknown. But here's the irony. Avoiding change doesn't eliminate the fear. It just prolongs the discomfort. So, how do you overcome this resistance? Start small. Instead of focusing on the entire mountain, take one step at a time. For example, if you're thinking about switching careers, don't quit your job tomorrow. Begin by researching industries that excite you or networking with people in those fields. These small actions build momentum and help quiet the fear. But even with these steps, there's one thing you'll need to embrace fully: the human ability to adapt. And that's where the real power lies. Let's explore that next. Humans are remarkably adaptable creatures. Think about it. How many times have you faced a situation you thought you'd never survive, only to look back and realize you came out stronger? Studies on adaptation show that even in the face of life-altering events, like losing a job or going through a breakup, people eventually find their footing. It's not just about survival, it's about thriving in new circumstances. This ability to adapt is hardwired into us, but here's the catch. You won't discover it unless you're willing to embrace change. It's like a muscle. You have to use it to strengthen it. One of the most fascinating examples of adaptation comes from research on individuals who've experienced severe trauma, like losing a limb. Initially, many of them believe life is over, that happiness is out of reach. But give them a few years, and the majority report being just as happy, if not happier, than before the trauma. Why? Because humans have an incredible capacity to adjust their expectations and find meaning in their new reality. The same principle applies to restarting your life. Yes, it's scary, and yes, it takes effort, but your brain and body are built to adapt. You just have to trust the process. So, what does this mean for you? It means that even if the idea of starting over feels overwhelming, you're more capable than you think. Start by reminding yourself of past challenges you've overcome. Maybe it was moving to a new city, ending a toxic relationship, or learning a new skill. Each of those moments required adaptation, and you did it. The key is to lean into that resilience. But why does it sometimes feel like our brains fight against us when we try to change? That's where psychology comes into play, and it's time to dig deeper into the factors influencing your resistance. When it comes to change, your brain is both your greatest ally and your biggest obstacle. Take the amygdala, for instance. This tiny almond-shaped part of your brain is like a hyperactive alarm system, constantly scanning for threats. The moment you consider restarting your life, it lights up, amplifying your fear of failure or rejection. It's not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you. But here's the twist. The amygdala doesn't always distinguish between real danger and perceived risk. So, while it's great at keeping you from stepping into traffic, it's also the reason you hesitate to take that leap of faith. Then there's the anterior insula, the part of your brain responsible for those gut feelings you can't quite explain. Ever felt a knot in your stomach when you're about to make a big decision? That's your anterior insula at work. For some people, this part of the brain is hyperactive, making every decision feel like a life or death situation. It's why you might overthink even the smallest changes, like switching gyms or trying a new hobby. But here's the thing, gut feelings aren't always accurate. They're shaped by past experiences, which means they can sometimes mislead you, especially when fear is involved. And let's not forget, reward prediction. The brain's way of estimating the potential benefits of a decision. People who resist change often underestimate the rewards and overestimate the risks. It's like standing at the edge of a diving board, convinced the water below is shallow, when in reality, it's deep and inviting. The key is to reframe your mindset. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? But even with this knowledge, there's one factor that often keeps people stuck: the intolerance to uncertainty. Let's explore why this is such a powerful barrier. Uncertainty is the one thing most people can't stand. The idea of not knowing what's going to happen next can feel paralyzing, especially when you're considering a major life change. This intolerance to uncertainty is one of the biggest psychological barriers to restarting your life. Your brain craves predictability because it equates the unknown with danger. It's why you might find yourself overthinking every possible outcome or obsessively planning every detail in an attempt to feel in control. But here's the kicker. The more you try to eliminate uncertainty, the more stuck you become. Think about it. How often do you delay decisions because you're waiting for the perfect moment or more information? This is a classic trap of overplanning and overthinking. You tell yourself you're being cautious, but in reality, you're avoiding the discomfort of the unknown. The irony is that life is inherently unpredictable. No amount of research or preparation can guarantee a specific outcome. Instead of trying to control every variable, what if you focused on building your tolerance to uncertainty? It's not about eliminating fear. It's about learning to move forward despite it. One way to start is by taking small, calculated risks. For example, if you're thinking about moving to a new city, try visiting for a weekend to get a feel for it. Or if you're considering a career change, take an online course in your desired field. These small steps expose you to uncertainty in manageable doses, helping you build confidence over time. But here's the thing. Uncertainty isn't just something to tolerate. It's also where growth and discovery happen. Here's a truth that might surprise you. The unknown isn't your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Exploration and discovery are the keys to unlocking a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with who you truly are. Yet, so many people avoid the unknown because it feels risky or uncomfortable. But think about it. How can you discover what truly makes you happy if you never step outside your comfort zone? Exploration isn't about having all the answers. It's about being curious enough to ask the right questions. What excites you? What scares you? What's one thing you've always wanted to try but never dared to? One of the biggest traps people fall into is premature closure. This happens when you make life-altering decisions without fully exploring your options. Maybe you chose a career path at 18 because it seemed safe, or you stayed in a relationship because it felt familiar. But deep down, you know something's missing. The only way to break free from this cycle is to embrace the process of discovery. Try new hobbies, meet new people, or even take a different route to work. These small acts of exploration can lead to unexpected insights about what truly lights you up. The beauty of exploration is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't have to figure everything out overnight. Start small. Maybe it's trying a new cuisine, signing up for a class, or saying yes to an opportunity you'd normally decline. Each step into the unknown is a step closer to self-discovery. And here's the best part. The more you explore, the more you realize that restarting your life isn't about starting over. It's about building on everything you've learned. Restarting your life doesn't mean erasing everything you've been through. It means using your past as fuel for your future. Every skill you've learned, every challenge you've faced, and every mistake you've made has shaped you into someone stronger and wiser. Think of it like upgrading a phone. You're not throwing away the old one. You're keeping the valuable data while improving the system. Restarting is your chance to take everything you've learned and apply it in a way that aligns with the person you're becoming. It's not about starting from zero. It's about starting from experience. One of the most overlooked benefits of restarting is the fresh perspective it gives you. When you step into a new chapter, you're not bound by the same limitations or routines that held you back before. For example, someone who switches careers often brings unique skills from their previous field, giving them a competitive edge. A teacher transitioning into corporate training, for instance, already knows how to communicate effectively and manage groups. Skills that are invaluable in their new role, restarting isn't a setback. It's an opportunity to leverage your unique life experiences in ways you never imagined. And let's not forget the emotional growth that comes with it. Restarting your life forces you to confront fears, embrace uncertainty, and build resilience. It teaches you that failure isn't the end, it's a stepping stone. Every time you restart, you become more adaptable, more confident, and more in tune with what truly matters to you. But here's the thing, the benefits of restarting aren't just about what you gain. They're also about how it transforms your happiness. Let's explore how embracing change can lead to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Here's a surprising truth. The people who embrace change often end up happier than those who resist it. Why? Because happiness isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about growing through it. Studies on quarter-life and midlife crises reveal that individuals who face periods of uncertainty head-on almost always find greater fulfillment afterward. It's not the change itself that brings happiness, but the personal growth and self-discovery that come with it. Think of it like climbing a mountain. The journey is tough, but the view from the top makes it all worthwhile. The number of times you restart your life can directly impact your happiness. People who've made bold changes, whether it's switching careers, moving to a new city, or leaving a toxic relationship, often report feeling more aligned with their true selves. Each restart is like peeling back a layer, getting closer to the core of who you are. For example, someone who leaves a high-paying but unfulfilling job to pursue their passion might initially feel scared, but over time, they find joy in living a life that reflects their values. The key is understanding that happiness isn't a destination. It's a byproduct of embracing change. But let's be real, change isn't always easy, and happiness doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, patience, and a willingness to face the unknown. The good news, every step you take toward change builds emotional resilience, making it easier to navigate future challenges. And here's the best part. The more you embrace change, the more you realize that happiness isn't about avoiding uncertainty. It's about finding meaning within it. But how do you actually build that tolerance for uncertainty? Learning to tolerate uncertainty is like building a muscle. It takes practice, but the results are life-changing. Most people avoid uncertainty because it feels uncomfortable, even threatening. But here's the thing, the unknown isn't as scary as your mind makes it out to be. Your brain, particularly the amygdala, tends to overestimate risks and underestimate your ability to handle them. The key to overcoming this is simple but powerful. Take small steps into the unknown. Start with low-stakes situations like trying a new restaurant or saying yes to an invitation you'd usually decline. These small wins build your confidence and teach your brain that uncertainty isn't dangerous. It's an opportunity. Another way to build tolerance is by reframing how you view uncertainty. Instead of seeing it as a threat, try seeing it as a space for growth and discovery. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in your life likely came from a moment of uncertainty. Maybe it was starting a new job, moving to a new city, or even falling in love. None of those things came with guarantees, but they shaped you in ways you couldn't have predicted. By focusing on the potential rewards rather than the risks, You can train your mind to embrace uncertainty instead of avoiding it. And let's not forget the power of mindfulness. When you find yourself spiraling into overthinking or rumination, pause and bring your attention back to the present moment. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? This simple question can snap you out of the mental loop of avoidance and into action. The more you practice this, the more resilient you become. And here's the exciting part. Once you start building this tolerance, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. Speaking of possibilities, let's look at some real-life examples of people who've embraced uncertainty and transformed their lives. Here's the truth. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to restart your life, you'll be waiting forever. Fear and uncertainty will always be there, whispering reasons to stay where you are. But here's the thing. Staying stuck is a choice, just like moving forward is the difference. One keeps you in a cycle of rumination and regret, while the other opens doors to growth, happiness, and self-discovery. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the first step. Even a small action can set the wheels of transformation in motion. Think about it. What's the worst that could happen if you try? Sure, you might stumble, but every stumble is a lesson. And what's the best that could happen? You could find yourself living a life that feels authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with who you truly are. The unknown isn't something to fear. It's where all the magic happens. So, stop overthinking, stop waiting for guarantees, and start exploring. Whether it's a new career, a new city, or a new mindset, the life you want is on the other side of action. So, here's my challenge to you. What's one thing you can do today to move closer to the life you want? It doesn't have to be big, just something that breaks the cycle of avoidance and gets you moving. And if this message resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can embrace the unknown, face our fears, and restart our lives as many times as it takes. The question is, are you ready to take that first step?